Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh and Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friends are going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
And Justin says we are now drinking Deadly Grounds. Thank you, Justin. I'm drinking it myself. It's got to keep me going. Sleep is overrated. But anyway, my name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard, and we are doing Splash Pages, the comic book club. We're going to be talking about Batman White Knight tonight and some other comic goodies. And as always, Velvet Joker. How's it going, my friend?
Oh, I'm very excited for tonight. This is my story.
Oh, yeah. You're the one that added it, right?
Yeah. This is my jam. This is like one of my favorite Joker stories of all time.
I have to tell you, I am so thankful you added it. This is we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Drew, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm ready.
You sure you're ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got to get you drinking Deadly Grounds.
No.
No?
Do coffee.
Before we get into things, we also have Terrificon's coming, and we absolutely love Mitch and we love Terrificon, but he's been putting together these awesome ads, and I'm going to show one right now. If you don't know what Terrificon is, it's a huge convention, huge comic book convention here in Connecticut, right at Mohegan Sun in the new convention center. But here we go.
Meanwhile, near Terrificon.
Hey, how are you?
Swell.
What brings you to the ER?
This is the ER?
Mm-hmm.
Some joker down the hallway told me this was the phlebotomy lab.
Tough day at the office.
Something like that.
I'm just here promoting Connecticut's biggest Comic-Con.
What's it called?
Terrific-Con.
Terrific.
Oh, is it ever. With 3 days full of comic book artists and writers, TV and movie stars, costume contests, plus the biggest assembly of dealers of comic book toys and more on July 30th to August 1st.
And how do I get tickets?
Simple, go to Terrificon.com.
I might do just that.
Hey.
Thanks. See you around.
Visit Terrificon.com for all your Terrificon needs.
So, what brings you to the ER?
ER! Some joker down the hallway told me this was the sleep study lab.
You guys going to Terrificon, I assume?
I am not this year. I am still dealing with some COVID issues, so we're just we're taking one more year off. So yeah, 2022 for me.
Awesome. Yeah, well, a lot of people taking the year off, so it's
yeah,
you gotta be safe, you know.
Yeah, and I just started my new job, and honestly, I kind of want to save up some money, like, you know, it just, again, Mitch puts on one of my favorite shows. When we had him on the show, he was absolutely a delight, you know, and I know it's going to be amazing. And the list of people he's got, it's going to be great. And the panels, everything he does, like, that man works every inch of his fiber to put on the best show for everybody. And very rarely do I ever hear someone say something like, oh, Terrificon sucked. Anyone I've talked to about it has always given such good reviews. So it really does, you know, and I feel bad because I love supporting good people who put forth good work. But, you know, life is life, and there will be Terrificon next year. And I'm sure if I'm able to go, I'm going to have a great time. But just not this year.
And Mitch puts on a great show. This is only going to be the second show I've ever missed with Terrificon and its earlier inclination. So a little sad about that. But working on some possible cosplay ideas for 2022. So a little amalgam universe type stuff.
I saw your hyena. That's going to be great.
It might make his debut. I don't know. You might want to join the group crew, you know?
Yeah, you will see. But I will say this, though, Rich, after reading this, I think you really should consider, like, especially with I don't know if you want to do a group for it or not, that you should consider the White Knight Joker. Like one, you'd get to dress all nice and fancy the entire day. I mean, not that you are, you know,
as Jack Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah. No makeup. I don't know.
Yeah, you just, or what you do is, well, one, you see if you can get the different colored contact eyes. Remember, he has that condition, right. You know. And then it's also nice because you can dress fancy, but you're at a con, you know.
Yeah.
Or you can go really high end and do like his like mid transformation, like you're fighting off between Jack Napier and Joker.
Yeah, you could do the half.
Yeah,
the half face.
But be careful with that because you could confuse that. That could end up being the Prince thing.
Oh yeah,
like Superman.
You're right. The bat dance.
Yeah.
Jeremy says, I think I'm being cautious as well. I second everything Drew and Rich just said. I thought, though I really missed a scene. Yeah, thank you for correcting me. Yeah, totally. I have an issue. My video camera died. So
did you do a Viking burial for it?
Not yet, because it's a high-end camera, and I don't know if I should like pay to have it returned or pay to have it repaired, or, you know, since it's so old, just buy a new one. But yeah, I'm not ready to plunk down that kind of cash for it yet. So I normally record the panels at you know, at the con, and just yeah. So that's. Yeah, I'm not ready to do that yet. So it's I'm only going to go for one day, but I'm a little sad that I won't be able to do that this year.
Oh, listen, again, things change. I mean, we survived a plague, you know.
We did.
Our priorities have changed, so it is what it is.
And you mentioned
rebuilding year. That's all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, I've missed some good stuff because of filming. Like, you know, I really wanted to meet Henry Winkler one year, and I ran out like mid panel.
So nice.
It's awesome. You know, just even waiting in line for him, because he's like, you know, he'll stop and do magic tricks and stuff like that. But I was in between panels, so I ran to go get his autograph and to meet him. And I'm waiting, and it gets to me where I'm next in line, and he takes a break.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah. So I missed meeting him. So but I got some good panel footage. So that
He needed
makes
to
up
stick
for it.
the banana stand. What are you gonna do?
I have a pretty great Henry Winkler story because I got to meet him. Although the con I got to meet him at, I don't think I'll ever go back to, just because it was so. I went to Rhode Island.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what a night! I mean, listen, like I had great experiences there. I got to meet a lot of great people, whatnot. It's just so freaking congested. Like they really need to do it in a bigger space because
they keep on expanding it. I mean, first it was just a convention center, then it was like the convention center and Dunkin' Donuts, and then they had like Stanley and everybody, and then it went just like bananas.
Yeah, 100% the entire tree and the bananas.
Yeah.
No, but I met Henry at that con, and I told him 100%. I was like, I met him and I said, I'm a huge fan. Like me and my sister loved you in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
You just Barry Zuckercorn, hands down, hilarious. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's the Fonz. He's done everything else, but that is the thing for me. And he really appreciated that. And I got a photo with him, much the envy of so many, including now Leo. And he signed an autograph for me that had Jeffrey Tambor and the woman who played Lucille, Jennifer Walter. She was the voice of Archer's mom.
Yeah. She just passed away, didn't she?
Yeah. Her. God, it's gonna bother me. I think it's Jennifer Walters. And he signed it, and he gave it up. He's like, "Don't say anything." I was like, "Oh no, I won't." And he just gave that to me for free, and that was it. And I was just like,
"Awesome,
you are the best."
Nice.
So Leo, I'm just letting you know he won't disappoint.
Oh yeah,
Barry.
What's that?
I don't know if you guys have seen Barry, but he's amazing in Barry as well.
Yes, he is. Yes. And 100% I agree with that. I got to watch all of that during the plague, and 100% he is amazing.
Don't say all of it because it's. I'm still hoping for season 3.
Yeah, I think so. They left it on a good enough cliff note.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cliffhanger, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, but that show is phenomenal. Yeah, and he was great in it.
So before we get to White Knight, which will be introduced by the person who recommended to us, Mr. Joker down there, what's up with the comic world? Any fun things to talk about? And again, I want to let you both know that this weekend I'm going to binge all of Loki. So,
God.
I think at this point I'm doing it partly because I'm so busy juggling the 2 jobs, and also because I love hearing Rich's reactions, because he so wants to talk about it. I'm like, no, I haven't seen anything. It's like, there's an alligator Loki, Drew. Like, I want to talk about it, and you're killing me.
And Throg too. Throg made an appearance.
Yeah, exactly. All that.
Jeremy says He-Man starts this week, and should on like a off night, maybe you guys would want to do like a Loki special after you watch it.
Perhaps. Can I just be honest with you? I can't keep up anymore. There's so much nerd shit out, and I know I shouldn't complain because we grew up at a time when nerd stuff was few and far in between. But every fucking month there's this show, it's 12 episodes. Oh, there's this show, it's 6 episodes once a week. Everything. There's this, there's that, there's these movies that you haven't seen. Oh, these movies you haven't seen in a while, but it's like you're seeing for the first time again. I'm just like, I got a job, I got like life. I need at least 6 hours of sleep, and it's at some point, if someone's paying me to watch it, I will sit down and I will watch it all. But right now,
need input more. Need input.
Although I have to ask, has either of you watched Sweet Tooth yet? I finished reading it finally, and I've heard good things.
It's on my list, but Black Widow.
Yeah, I have to watch that. Enough people have seen it, but nothing has been spoiled for me. which I'm very proud because Rich, friendly cosplayers.
Can I please? I'm dying to. I want really bad.
I'll get there. Don't worry.
All right, Crimson Dynamo.
Do you want me to? I hate you. Do you want me to put on mute and just walk away? You take a little bathroom break, and you and Leo can.
I'm just fucking with you. It's all good. Ursa Major. Nope. I'm just playing around. It's all good.
Are you saying you having a little joke there? Huh? Laughing?
Who, me? It wouldn't be me.
So
that's my. It's just me. It's Jack.
I know. I will say this though, just like Leo, because I want to get into. Jeremy, I totally agree. The book's wonderful. Finish it, all of it. I have never read this as well. I've heard great things. I've met Sean Murphy more than enough times. Having read it, I can say that the book is worth the hype. Every issue is really a testament to how great of a talent Sean Murphy is. And I always tell people, like, listen, you love this, you should see his other work. So well done. So without that, everyone, Batman White Knight with a introduction by the Velvet Joker. Take it away, Rich.
Hold on. We still have Sophia to
oh, right. That
unless you guys don't like that anymore.
No. That's part of the show.
Okay. Well, yeah. So
is it time? What's the year, Leo?
It is you know what? I'm just gonna play it. Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go. We got another special for you today. We're going to be traveling to 2017, going all the way back. This is going to be a fun one. So, computer, are time circuits set?
Yes, Captain. Time circuit set for 2017.
Thank you. So, picture Sicily 2017. I need my time cap for that. Here we go. And the winner is La La Land. Wait, crap! Sorry, the winner is really Moonlight. Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty presented the Best Picture Oscar, and let's just say a goof was in the announcement. Gas cost about $2.41 a gallon. Prince William and Kate Middleton got engaged. And the president 2017, okay, I don't want to get into arguments, so we're going to move on. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Matt Lauer. Okay, let's move on again. Walt Disney buys Fox. Well, that's not so bad, with the exception of a behemoth conglomerate where the mouse will own all. Crap. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so the year 2017 was crazy, but let's look at some awesomeness. We paid an average ticket of $8.97 for movies, which was an all-time high. Is there anything good on this list? Okay, let's look at the top grossing movies. Star Wars Episode 8, the last... Fuck it. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Okay, let's look at the other list on top grossing movies for 2017. Beauty and the Beast, Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, It, and Thor Ragnarok. That's a bit better. In streaming, we watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Twin Peaks returned, Mindhunter taught us about serial killers, and we returned to Fargo, don't you know? And what the fork, The Good Place won our hearts.
Holy forking shirt balls.
If you're a kid in 2017, you didn't really have Saturday morning cartoons, not even close, but Voltron came back as a Netflix show. Wow, that was good. Castlevania and Big Mouth, well, those weren't really kid shows, were they? Okay, who wrote this damn list? Star Wars Rebels, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, DuckTales, and Justice League Action allowed us to geek out. And it happened. Samurai Jack finally got the ending it deserved. Okay, let's take a look at comics for 2017, the top comics, and this is calculated by Diamond Comic Distributors. So Marvel had 5 comics in the top 10. Who would have thought that? So Marvel Legacy grabbed the #1 spot. Looking at number 3 was Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man #1, and Secret Empire 0 and 1 kicked off Marvel's summer event. Those also ranked in the top 10. Last from Marvel was Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey, and that ranked number 10. DC also had 5 titles in the top 10. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo had Dark Knight's Metal #1. That kicked off the DC's crossover event. That took the #2 spot. Also, issues 2, 3, and 9 and Dark Knights also took slots within the top 10. Finally, Doomsday Clock number 2 from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, merging Watchmen and DC Universe. That took the number 8 spot. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little trip back to 2017. We are gonna make sure Mr. Fusion is fueled, kick the time circuits to 2021, and get this thing over back to Splash Pages, where we're gonna be talking about Batman the White Knight. Here we go.
God, that was perfect. Whoa! All right, I'm back. I'm adjusting.
That was too perfect.
No, that was bad. That was bad.
The boy, you were like, that's it. Fuck it. I'm done. This year sucked. That was pretty great. I guffawed.
Oh, thank you.
That was awesome.
So, Rich, take us away.
Go for it, buddy.
All right. So the synopsis: So Batman White Knight follows the man known as Jack Napier as he embarks on a quest to heal the city that he once terrorized. After reconciling with his long-suffering partner, the sweet Harley Quinn, he sets in motion a carefully plotted campaign to discredit the one person whom he views as Gotham City's true enemy, the Batman. His crusade exposes a decade-long history of corruption within the Gotham City Police Department, transforms Napier into a city councilman and civic hero, but when the sins of his past return, threaten everything that he has accomplished, distinctions between savior and destroyer begin to break down for both the Joker and the Batman alike. With the many hopes for Gotham's future, writer and artist Sean Murphy delivers an extraordinary examination of comics' greatest antagonist in Batman White Knight, exploring justice, corruption, activism, and the dark depths of mental illness. Collectively acclaimed 8-issue miniseries, this stunning graphic novel also marks the debut of the DC Black Label imprint, featuring classic DC characters and standalone stories written and illustrated by world-class authors and artists. And Sean Murphy, you have proved yourself. You are definitely a world-class author artist. Just and there's so much to unpack in this story. So many levels. So many. So with that, Leo, show us some of the beautiful art that Sean Murphy gives with Batman White.
Is there a delay? I feel like I'm catching like every other word.
A little bit of not a delay, but
Overlap?
Not overlap. I think a little bit of internet like taking away every word here and there.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry. We can understand you, buddy.
I was trying to be eloquent.
You were doing good. I every other word sounded very posh.
Awesome.
Great job, by the way. Great job.
So I have a few questions, Rich, before we get into this, because you're the one who recommended it.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one being is, as a Joker cosplayer yourself, do you know? Okay, how do I say this? Joker fans are very adamant about this character. It's something in him that resonates with y'all, and as we've seen, it can, when it's good, the fans love it. When it's bad, well, Gotham burns. What, as a Joker cosplayer, how did you feel about Sean Murphy's version, like his take on this, which is essentially a modern day Elseworld? So what did you think about it? Did you like this different spin on not just Joker and Batman, but really everybody? And what drew you to it enough to be like, I'll check it out? I mean, I know it wasn't just, oh, hey, it's the Joker if he was trying to be a good guy. I mean, no offense, we've done this.
Yeah, I probably stopped reading comics regularly probably somewhere about 2013 or 14. So yeah, it usually takes a special story for me to jump back into the fray. And I think I heard when this had first come out in 2017, but I don't think I touched it until 2019. When I just kept hearing things, and they're like, oh, Rich, you haven't read this story yet. You have to read the story. And I did have to read the story. It was amazing. To answer your question, I loved every bit of it. I loved Harley Quinn. I love the Mad Hatter. I love what they did with Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Wayne Sr., the history, the corruption, and not to mention, I don't know if Sean Murphy was on MySpace when I was on an online chat or something like this, but this is my story. I'm not trying to say I'm taking credit for the idea of this story, but I feel like he is tapped into what I feel. I've always seen Batman as the bad guy.
Okay.
And Joker is just trying to have a good time, and Batman is just coming to ruin his fun. But over the years, he's gotten more and more abusive and reckless and out of control. And I kind of have seen Batman in the comics for at least the last decade as like almost like an abusive cop who's abusing his power and his authority. You know, he may not kill people, but you know, he's gonna put you in traction for the next 18 months.
Right.
So I love so much about this story, and super spoilers if you haven't read this. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
That was a surprising ending. I'll give you that.
The knot is awesome.
Yeah, I have to agree with. I gotta also sit a little closer. God, I just realized how far I am. I have to agree with you, Rich. Like this, I've known of Sean Murphy's genius for a while, but there was so much to unpack in this. Like, I feel like we could spend 2 hours just going over it, and I still feel our reader, like our listeners, could read it and still find new things that we didn't even cover.
Yeah, we could totally play by play, panel by panel, and there's still stuff to uncover.
Oh, yeah. I mean, taking a look at even Joker's room right there, how much, you know, you have Batman in the animated series, you have the 89 Batman Batwing, and just so much Batman history. You even have Batman and Joker from 89 as well.
Yeah, and I was saying this to Rich earlier that Sean Murphy's attention to detail reminded me of Tim Sale back in the day. Like, if you ever pay attention to some of his panels, especially like Superman All for Seasons, like you'd have scenes where you'd have characters like in their own room, and he would have so much background detail that it was just astounding, because sometimes some people it's just a room, you know what I mean? It's just the basic surroundings. But the little details, the little touches, you know, the little bushes in a Bob Ross language that you just add in, it really makes the scene not just pop, but more intimate. And as I was saying to Rich before we started the show, I like how Sean Murphy has this sort of gritty 80s noir aesthetic to his work. You know, he experiments with light, he experiments with darkness. You know, he's got a kind of scratchy rough, but it's still very smooth and cartoony. It's like you can kind of see it's like a love child of the animated series and the 80s Batman. Like almost like Frank Miller, Batman Year One kind of deal, you know. And I think the other great thing is that this book literally starts with, what if, after years, the Joker got better and he decided he was going to be the good guy and Batman was just losing his shit? And it was great because a lot of the times, because and Rich, I know you would agree to this, the Joker's contradictory backstories have become a part of his mythos, where it's, again, you could have all these different versions, but they're still not. You don't know what's the definitive history of the Joker. You know,
Sure. At this point, that is the beauty of it. Anyone try to define it, it would be infuriating.
Yeah, it's basically what DC Omniverse is doing. All stories are relevant. All the backstories have some merit of truth. For me, the story that I particularly enjoyed was that there were two Harleys.
Yeah.
You know, and And in some way he knew, and it's just amazing to think about that, because you had Harley, who left because she realized this obsession with Batman was just going nowhere. And then you had Marion Drews, who just fills in for him in the worst way possible. She's a Stockholm Syndrome Harley, but she becomes addicted to the Joker, not Jack.
Exactly.
And you remove that, and then she becomes the Neo Joker. And in some ways actually became even bigger than the Joker at one point, but again, like, for all her power, all the Joker had to do was snap at her and she was back to being a Harley. Like look at that. That's fantastic. But personally, gentlemen, for the thing that I really loved, and I will say this to anyone of our viewers listening, if you love, which, let's be real here, if you don't, just get off of this planet already. If you love Batman animated series, this book has so much of that. Even this scene that we just saw there makes fun of the fact that anytime the rogues get together, it becomes a conversation of almost Gotham, which, as we know, is the Paul Dini episode where they all talk about the times they almost killed Batman. Just phenomenal. Even that, all of that, even that, Rich, we were talking about this before. You got Killer Croc right next to him as Baby Doll. We haven't seen her since the animated series when her and Croc had a thing. And apparently it's still a thing in this universe.
Right, you see right there in that scene. She's right below him. And later on, when the whole bay comes in to the tunnel system, he's diving down to save her. Like you said, the attention to detail that he does. And another thing I have to mention, Drew, is that when a comic pulls in the whole Gotham universe, it can often be
overwhelming.
Too much. Too many characters, too much information flying at you, too many personalities. But man, this delicate dance that Sean did in this storyline, where they were perfect background fodder, but still essential to the story.
Oh, absolutely. Leo, what did you think? You've never read this as well, just like me. This is your first time. What did you think about it?
Well, yeah, like I said, this was my first read, and at first I was like, what's up with this artwork? But then you just grow to love the amount of detail, and like you said, the grittiness, the noir. But it's the story that just sucks you in. I couldn't believe I was rooting for the Joker. And just a very plausible story, like the Joker, ultimately wants to save Gotham.
Right.
It's just
right.
Yeah.
And they come to find out, how shocking was that Gotham's been hiding for years that it's $300 billion to clean up Batman's mess around Gotham, running on top of roofs, probably settling lawsuits against the city.
Yeah.
I mean, we find out that, spoiler alert, but, Bruce Wayne or Wayne Enterprises have been paying for that. But, it asks the question, why isn't he helping the police force? That's the perfect answer to form, a Gotham task force or a terrorist organization or whatever it was.
Right.
The GTO, but to form them to give the police all Batmobiles and his gadgets, and to really make a difference, and to have it helmed by Batgirl and Nightwing. It's
and also this story does a significant change to the Batman mythos, because I believe, and if I'm wrong, gentlemen, please correct me, that in this universe, Jason Todd was the first Robin, and then it was Dick Grayson.
That
right?
does seem the case, yes.
Yeah, which is crazy, because he almost has a similar fate. You have the torturing, you assume that he's killed him, which almost feels like it goes into, what happened in the mainstream Marvel, and almost kind of like what happened with Dark Knight Strikes Returns. It was just crazy, like this whole thing. And they have Dick Grayson, and everything's still the same. Like Dick is still Nightwing, Barbara is still Batgirl, Dick and Bruce still get in fights because, for the fact that they were Batman and Robin, they still don't get along because, that's part of their nature. Sean Murphy was very eager to just subtle touches, enough of it where it's still familiar to us, but a little different. And it's fantastic. Like, and all your favorite characters are here. You have Gordon, you have Renee Montoya, you have Harvey Bullock, you have Mayor Hill. When was the last time we saw Mayor Hamilton Hill? Was the animated series. He was the old bumbling mayor,
Right. And just the name Jack Napier comes from the Jack Nicholson '89 movie.
Right, which was the first time we ever knew he had an identity, and that's been basically used a lot with the Joker since then. Even the animated series called them by that name.
And what a scene! I mean, Joker, aka Jack Napier, basically set Batman up. But essentially, when you see Batman stuffing these pills that have been making Joker sane, reversing the insanity and making him want to do better things, and he jams the whole thing of pills down his mouth, and just it's in front of the whole media, and it just feels like you're watching a video from this past summer with like all the Black Lives Matter type situations, and all of a sudden, like the inner city of Gotham is rooting for the Joker, and people can't even believe that they feel this way. But it's when you see people being assaulted, no matter what the situation is, you're going to start to take their side.
I just wanted to just point out real quick you talking about levels of detail.
Look at that Batcave.
Yeah, the Batcave. But also the Batmobiles. I mean, you had the 66 Batmobile, you got the 89 Batmobile, you got the Tumbler, the animated series. And isn't that like the 55?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like sort of like a cat on the front, yeah.
Yeah, the battering ram. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got the famous T-Rex.
Yeah, the dinosaur in the back.
Yeah, and the penny.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole thing was fantastic. And honestly, the death of Alfred, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a universe where Alfred's death isn't such a punch in the gut. But the fact that he's been dying the whole time, and in his last act, he chooses to save Bruce.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Bane snapping his neck in the mainstream verse was still pretty crazy in front of Robin nonetheless, but this was just as heartfelt. And you see that Batman becomes even more unhinged because Sean made it that this was his emotional tether. This was his surrogate parents in one person. So without him, his descent into just emotional brutality goes haywire. I mean, he's even punching out guests at parties in public. That's not Bruce Wayne. That's Batman. No, it's just like I could ramble on and on, but there's two other people here, so y'all talk.
Joker actually wanted to do good for Gotham. He actually wanted to. It actually wasn't a scheme. He ended up sort of scheming, doing things illegally to get the right thing done. Mm-hmm. Which eventually he gladly pays for, and he actually almost pays with his life because he's like, Harley, you're the one that has to survive and move on, and I realize my love for you, and that's more important. And you think at one point that Jack is dies, car accident. Harley goes after Neo Joker, and so he is definitely gone from one who beat and abuses his woman, one who loves, cherishes, puts her above his own life. which you don't never see in the Joker comic book. But god damn, is that like that's my heart right there. That is, woo! I'm gonna have to hug Sean Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
At the next Comic-Con, because that boy really touches.
Well, I think what it is just, again, like, this was the Joker's way of trying to be the good guy, you know? And yeah, it wasn't good at all. And he even acknowledges it. Like, he basically sowed the fruit of his own despair. Like, he knew he was going to fail. Everything he did wasn't by the book. He had to break rules in order to get where he wanted. Like, he was building the foundations on the same level of shadiness that he was calling out in the public. Like, he knew it was doomed to fail. But the point being is it was still genuine.
Yeah, so you just passed by like a magical scene for me.
Oh, the date night.
Yeah, when they have their beautiful date night, when it seems like Jack is just so successful and he's going to be at a city council, Harley's like, we have to go out and celebrate. And they just have this beautiful night of dinner, dancing, romance, making love, and essentially popping the question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, and you've never seen, again, it's another thing that we've never seen in comics. We've never seen this true, genuine love, and that's really in contrast to what Harley Quinn has become in the comic books now, because she is now, a feminine anti-hero, and she is now out of the shadow of the Joker, because they always didn't want to remain this abusive relationship. They didn't want to promote that for women. But this is the way I really always saw the evolution of Joker and Harley becoming.
Thank you.
And I wish the comics grasped more onto this. And again, I need to hug Sean Murphy.
Absolutely. And before we get to the really serious issues, which I'd love to discuss, I'd like to bring up something that I've always had issues with a lot of Joker and Harley fans. And Rich, I'm sure being a Joker, you've seen this kind of odd, I wouldn't say toxicity, but really odd sort of glamorization in Joker fans communities. You have these people, like, I think you see it primarily with Joker female fans, like, oh, I want a relationship. I want someone to love me like Joker and Harley. And to me, that's usually my sign that I was like, ma'am, I think you're looking at this in a not good way. Like, that's a horribly abusive relationship. That's an emotionally and physically abusive relationship. Like, don't get me wrong. There are moments, like, I believe there are moments in the animated series where the Joker does in some way care for Harley, but obviously he cares about himself first and foremost because his ego is that, but like, I've never agreed with that glamorization. I've always thought that that's, in my mind, very dangerous.
Right.
To kind of make that as something romantic to aspire to. So I agree with you, Rich. It was really nice to see Joker and Harley, in some ways, even though it was never going to last, to get their own kind of happy ending. Like, they got that vision that Harley in the animated series was always talking about, settling down, having a family, having a home, kind of putting their past and their criminal life behind them.
Right. Well, the mad love and the chaos of it and the enjoyment and the thrill of that being shared by another, it can be intoxicating.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, as we well know, as we get older, what seems exciting when you're young or in your teens or your 20s, as you hit your 30s and 40s, a lot less attractive.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, they glamorize onto that part of it, and they don't focus so much on the abuse part. But yeah, that's definitely, I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole, and that's a whole psyche phenomenon that could be pretty crazy to investigate. But a lot of that is people's history, and we all have history, and but we don't all have snarks. Only Leo
That's
has
true.
snarks.
Yeah.
True.
Speaking of, taking that deep dive into Harley Quinn and Joker, the series on HBO, Harley Quinn, that's the whole thing's dedicated to, her toxic relationship. And have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, It's amazing writing, amazing comedy, amazing voiceover work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Like the cast is really great, and it's another great ensemble cast. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. But I will say another thing that I do love is that this comic tackled a lot of serious things that admittedly I don't think we as fans really think about. We get wrapped up in the fantasy of being Batman and whatnot, but you never really think about the politics. You never really think about like the kind of thing that I feel like being adults we think about, because a lot of times we own homes. We have to pay rent. We have to, so I'm sorry if someone's driving a Batmobile over my roof and now my roof leaks or there's holes in it or whatnot, I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to think that the guy's a hero. I'm going to think you're kind of a bug, dude.
Oh yeah.
And again, like the way that Joker explained, like the way that John Murphy addressed things like classism, institutional racism, sexist behavior, all these things, but it came off. They had concrete examples. Yes, some of it was the Joker stirring up trouble. That's sure, but some of it he reinforced with legitimate examples, like when they're explaining this idea that like the whole thing how you had the rich companies waiting until an area was discovered a Batman zone, and then buying the property, renovating, and then selling it when the thing is lifted or whatnot, just to make a buck. So you had these rich people profiting off of Batman's war on crime, which is just, again, like crazy because you don't think about it, but it kind of makes sense.
Right.
Like so much of this he made was so logical that.
Right. And Bruce being so unaware of that until he was finally confronted with it, Drew, was a really.
Well, yeah, because the way that they've created Batman, he's just this. It's almost like they're trying to make him like he's this omnipotent yet mortal, knows everything God, And it was just kind of nice to see him be human, be overcome with emotions, like to be surprised or realize that sometimes he had to swallow his morals and pride and realize, hi, I need help. Not definitely like I actually have to work with this person who for years I've thought of as my nemesis. I've got to work with him to save the thing that we both love more than each other, which was Gotham.
I think that makes a really, really good story also. It is seeing, Batman flawed and then overcoming those flaws. And we've seen it time and time again, but I think that, makes a phenomenal storyline. And then you get the bizarre, which is like the Batman Fortnite, which is, that omnipotent, Batman that knows all, that can overcome everything. And it's just, that gets a little ridiculous. It's fun, but storylines like this, where you definitely see his faults. Yeah. Like the image I have up here, it seems the way he's drawn him is Batman slowly becoming the Joker himself. Just becoming that, just mad, and you can see it perfectly, like right here with the one eye, just like twitching, and it's crazy.
Yeah, they're mirror images, one on the way up and one on the way down.
Yeah.
But Harley said that. I don't know if it's Harley or Batgirl who said that in the book. She said that, but you both should address how similar you two are. And before we get into more on things like that, Leo, I think the thing that being is because I just finished reading Batman Fortnite, and I think that omnipotence you're talking about, the being prepared for everything, was the ending really made that even darker, with the idea that even though they escape, some part of them still remains to fight.
Yeah.
So it basically means that the fight is endless. So even though you escape, you never really leave. So in any way, that's just a dark reality, because in some ways it means that no matter what you do, you're still never complete after having gone through the experience, because some part of you is still stuck on that island.
Yeah, and then and
no, that's it.
Oh no, I just read it myself too, and it's just yeah, that ending was just crazy, and Harley staying behind, just like, just loving the constant battle. You die and you come back and you repeat.
Yeah, and I think the thing being is, again, you get addicted to the violence. That's what Marion Drew's problem was, that she lost herself in the Joker, so that when he wasn't there and it was just Jack, she couldn't handle him. So she became what was necessary to get back what she lost, regardless of whatever she had to do it. How many people she had to kill, whatever. None of that. And for me, this scene was awesome. Like, because we have seen so many times where, and Rich, I'm sure you know this as well, that Joker had just had the shit kicked out of him by Batman. And so it was nice to see one where the Joker got one on top of him, and he didn't have to use a bubble, a flower full of acid, or a shock buzzer, or goons or whatnot. It was just one-on-one, man versus clown.
And I love it that he prepared for it too. He did training with Harley. Yeah.
Yeah. And how integral Harley is to this story, like from the training point. It ends up being 2 Harleys in the story. And of course at the end where Batman is like, you set this up from the very beginning.
Right. And she was like, yeah, you are good.
Yeah, and she's like, Jack didn't even figure that out. And then Batman's like, no, he's the one who told me.
Right.
And of course, he never revealed that because, again, he had found such love and reverence for her. But you can never take away from Harley. She was a top student, top of her class psychiatrist with a totally ghetto background. She is a genius.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, guys, is that what this comes down to is that good stories will always stand the testament of time. So, for instance, it's very easy to write a character following a certain train of thought. Like, it's very simple writing Batman as a grim, dark thug who wants to beat the shit out of criminals because of trauma. But some of the best stories where you have an angle, where your story commits. And that's the same thing with Harley. Like, yes, we all know Harley as the slightly, occasionally fourth wall breaking, loud, hit you in the face with her oversized hammer, splatteroony kind of stuff that the New 52 really made canon. And then there's some people who prefer the Harley Quinn classic, but with this, she's look at her, she's at the top of her game. She gets what she wants, and even though she's had it for a moment, it was because she set it in motion. She knew how to work the game. If anything, this just proves that under the right pen, Harley Quinn is just as good and as smart and as calculating as Batman.
Right.
So,
and even saying that, the way they certainly portray her, and certainly the way that the character should be based on her history, besides, like you said, the sort of buffoonery that they're doing with the New 52 style, she could go up against Lex Luthor.
Yeah, she's great.
She's got a super brain.
Right. But she proved herself. She's not just a dumb female sidekick.
Yeah, she is a force of her own.
Absolutely. Even this scene here with how he broke Jason Todd, it was great because, again, we think crowbars.
Yep.
We think he broke his body, he broke his mind, and he left him to die. In this one, he scared the boy so much that not only did he basically give up Bruce's identity, but he literally said, I wish I'd never met him. And that's why he let him go. Because it would have been so easy, but the kid, he'd already won. He'd already cracked him the same way that he got his final revenge in Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. It wasn't just, hi, I broke Robin. It's, I made you compromise yourselves to cover up this secret now. So in the end, I still win.
Right.
You know, like even this, you know, the Joker exposed so many things that were wrong, not just with Gotham, but with the police, with their relationship with Batman, and how Batman conducted himself. And then you see that at the end, Jack is gone, Joker is back, and it's permanent that way. You know, but you see that everything has had a prominent effect on how Bruce wants to move forward. I mean, for all the time we've had, and let's just be real here, okay? I believe Jim Gordon knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. That was the same way I felt like Perry White had to know Clark Kent was Superman. He's too good of a reporter. Like, you know, but they don't. But they say nothing because, okay, you are who you are. You do good in the world. There's no reason for this to go beyond that.
And that he actually takes some of Joker's suggestion going forward. You know, he does decide to arm the police. He does decide to give them armor to train them to help, and admitted that he was wrong.
Yeah, and he unmasks in front of Gordon, which is something I don't know if I've seen in a while, if not ever. You know, I mean, because there were times Gordon does learn Bruce's identity. You know, sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't. But like hands down.
Right. And let's not forget the fun when Jack goes and transitions back into Joker, and they're both in like the Batmobile, and they're like old buddies.
Yeah, that reminded me of, I don't know if you guys ever watched Brave and the Bold, but that episode where that Joker and Batman were just, you know, in the Batmobile, and the Joker is just so excited about pushing buttons, and eventually he's just like, you don't want to touch that one. And he does, and it's knockout gas. You know, and it's just like, oh, not really very trusting. He's like, would you blame me? He's like, no, I would do the same. It's just, again, so great. And right. I have to be honest with you, I'm so glad that this expanded, you know, because I have to tell our readers, guys, if you like what you see, there are sequels and prequels and spin-offs. So, yeah.
I know there was a sequel, but there's multiple sequels, and there's
what there is there's White Knight. You have the Curse of White Knight, which takes place after this. You have I think a prequel series that deals with Mr. Freeze and events like that, and it's before, and then there's a Harley spinoff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's all
none of
great.
what I have read, but I became aware of upon reading this. But I just wanted to be focused on this, and not get distracted. But now I'm excited to read all that stuff.
Absolutely, especially because the second series, The Curse of the White Knight, Azrael.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Azrael, and the Harley Quinn series. I know because I read the first issue. It is good, and if everyone's a fan of Matteo Scalera, he's the artist for it, so he does a great job. We get to see the Gray Ghost. So,
nice. So again, callbacks to the classics.
I mean, especially, I got to be honest with you. What a great twist! The funeral, that ending was just so unexpected, because I was like, oh yes, and then, you know, Rich, you come in and just remind us that, you know, there's always something there.
Stop the chaos.
No, you cannot. And I gotta be honest with you, I really would love to see, like again, when it comes to cosplays, I'm always about originality. I would love to see some Gotham White Knight Jokers, you know, or Neo Jokers, When especially again now that we've read it, we can appreciate that. I love those costumes. You know, like I don't care that it's not gonna win cosplay of the year at the NYCC competition. It's just the attention to detail. It's the fact that you took that chance to do something. Yeah, it's not popular, but you loved it. Like I remember one year I was just walking around and a guy was dressed as Phil Sheldon. I don't know if you guys ever read Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross, the photographer in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just dressed as that, and I knew who he was. He said, "You're the second person today who's knew who I was," and he was so happy.
Nice.
You know, like again, like Rich, I feel like you could easily pull off a White Knight Joker really well, and it would be a nice thing you could bring your lady in on. She could be your Harley.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
but yeah, it's not a bad idea. Certainly something to toy with and put on the list.
Absolutely.
You know, Drew, Leo had mentioned the Harley Quinn animated series. Do you feel like when they did the Joker, he was like the bartender. He had gotten amnesia and no makeup, and he was living a normal life. Do you think that drew from this?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't, because there is certain things about it. I mean, the well-dressed demeanor, the jokes, the responsibility, the fighting of duality. I mean, I can see it drawing upon, but you know, we've also had moments like that before. I mean, you remember there was that comic where everybody got all their superpowers robbed, and in that comic, the Joker was sane, which is the first indication that somehow it was his insanity was his superpower.
Okay.
You know,
I didn't read that. What was that in, Drew?
I don't remember the issue. I can give it to you later. I know. I've never read it, but I know of it. I know it's an old Batman comic.
Okay.
But, yeah, but he was sane. He was 100% normal. And it was crazy because, of course, you know, things got reverted back. So naturally he went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs again. But wonderful. Yeah, Rich, I'll give you the
Absolutely. Send me that link when you get a chance.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I got you.
And did anyone feel like they needed to know what were under the floorboards? Because at the end,
100%.
Yes.
Alfred leaves this note for Bruce.
Oh, that was such a great moment.
Poignant, lovely note. You know, showing how much he understood his, I don't want to say foster son, but adoptive son, maybe.
Yeah, that's the better term.
Their love and understanding of each other just really shine through on that note. And at the end, he says, when you get a chance, I know you're now ready under my floorboards. I don't know if it was under the bed or under the bureau. You'll find something that you're ready for. And I'm like, well, what is it?
Yeah.
I want to know. I need to know.
Well, you know, best part is because we're catching up, there's all that other stuff we can get to read. So, you know, now all three of us have read it. So we can later on address that in future episodes. Hint, hint, Easter eggs. So
yes.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
I know. That's what I said. Honestly, I can't really say anything more. The whole thing was absolutely superb. A real testament to Sean Murphy's talent. And honestly, he deserves all the praise and money and accolades for it because, you know, job well done. Because building a world like that is really difficult, but he made it the true sign of an artist, or at least a great one in my mind, has always been, whether it's on film, television, stage, or whatnot, is making something that is insane look like the easiest thing in the world. And that's what I feel like he did. He showed us this huge, intricate Gotham, and he made us fall in love with it.
Yeah, I need the animated version. I need to see it. That would be pretty phenomenal.
Right.
Well, we've been getting a lot of animated stuff, so yeah, it could be.
We've got half of the Long Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Yep. The other half of that is coming out fairly soon.
Yep. I hope so.
Oh man, I would. Whew, I would be excited if they animated this. If they gave it just a tiny bit of the justice that Sean Murphy did. Wow, good God.
Yeah, that would be pretty stellar. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd watch that.
You know, it's funny, the well-dressed manner of how he behaved, it kind of reminded me, I don't know if you guys ever read Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. You have, right? Yep. It kind of reminded me a little of that Joker, you know, like a little bit more mature, you know, a little bit kind of like appearing to be civilized, obsessed in his relationship with Batman, you know, just well-dressed. I just remember, you know, white jacket, tie, you know, nonchalantly saying to his audience, I'm going to kill all of you. And everyone just, and lo and behold, he does exactly what he said he would.
To the eye for his trouble.
Indeed. And it's just, again, it's just nice to see when something's different, because sometimes you just need that break in the cycle. Sometimes comics, they just get caught in cycles of constantly the same thing over and over again. Like, how many times can Batman punch out Joker's teeth? You know? Like,
Absolutely.
eventually you need more, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's been said that sometimes DC overuses Joker in the Batman series, which I can't 100% argue with it, but it's well written like this. You can't complain, not even a tiny bit. No matter how much you hate, you know, things that just repeat themselves again. Like you said, you do it a different way and you present it as a beautiful story. It's undeniable that these are iconic characters that don't need to be overplayed. We just need good writing, good stories, good art, and you know, we're never going to see it go.
Totally agree. I was just going to say you know, you say Joker's overplayed, but I agree with you. As long as the story is great, you know, it's like the last. What did we do? We did Joker. Was it Joker War? No, 3 Jokers.
3 Jokers, yeah.
Yeah,
great story.
That was great. We did this. And did you read Lee Bermejo's Joker yet?
I have not. That is also on the list.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, great art, great story. You know, as long as those 2 things are there, we know the characters, and I think it's better keeping it as like a standalone story, like a Black Label. I know we don't have Black Label anymore, but you know, it's.
No, I think they're still going. Black
Really?
Labels, yeah. I think those stories, yeah, they're just fewer and far between now. You know?
Okay, I thought they changed names and then just, I don't know. DC's always changing things up, so yeah. But I'm sorry, Drew. What were you going to say?
No. I was just saying that was basically that. I'm sure Black Label is still kind of going on. It's just not, you know, Black Label mature storylines, you know, for mature fans. And I'm like, have you ever talked to some of these fans? I wouldn't use mature. Okay,
but you get Bat Dong.
Well, they can't say we're going to show lots of boobies.
I will say though, you got to give credit, because in that one scene where Harley and Jack are just in bed, basically naked, that nice, conveniently placed word bubble really does help give the imagination, but still get past the censors. And I was like, just like clever wordplay, I was like, that's clever placement right there. That is smart. I will say this also does remind me that I have been meaning to check out James Tynion's Joker series that spun out of the Joker War storyline that he did last year, that I supposedly hear is very good, especially for us fans of horror. I hear it's got a very Mike Myers, Dr. Loomis kind of feel to it, especially with how Joker and Jim Gordon are in the series. So maybe something else for y'all to check out once, you know, Rich, maybe something you keep getting your Joker fix on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always looking for new stuff. I'll take it on. Bring it.
Indeed. Well,
keep writing good stories. I'll keep reading them. Absolutely.
Right. But I honestly got nothing left. I'm good. Like this book, like I said, we could talk for another hour and 11 minutes, and I feel like we still couldn't crack half of the greatness in this thing. So,
oh yeah, I mean, you you barely touched on Clayface. How we got just they dispersed Clayface to dust, and all you had was his brain and eyes with the Mad Hatter card and
lodged in the brain.
Yeah. And they fed him. They fed him to all the Arkham Asylum inmates.
Yeah. What a clever way to do the mind control. Like I would have never thought that. But it was that and the Mad Hatter. Like again, what?
Yeah. Who thought about putting those two together?
Genius.
Crazy. Well, so since this was Rich's pick, Rich, would you like to go first or last?
5 crowbars all day fucking long.
That was easy.
Yeah, it's just nothing else could be said. I mean, like you said, well, there could be more said. Drew said it. We could talk about this. We can go panel by panel this and talk about this story for an hour. There is so much jam-packed stuff. If you guys are still watching the story, I cannot urge you enough to read Batman White Knight. You don't have to pay for it. You can find it free online. Trust me, you can. Do it. Read it. Love it.
We should do that. We should do that one day.
I am feeling it. If you want to feel anything like I'm feeling or like these guys are feeling, we're both first-time readers. Both love the story. Both impressed. Do it. 5 crowbars.
We should do that one day. We each select one comic and we just analyze it panel by panel by panel by panel. Good old 22-page comic. It's something easy.
Yeah.
Don't you can't this out. No, not Alan Moore. We're gonna be here forever. Yeah, Leo, you go. I'll go last.
Okay. I absolutely loved it as well. I am gonna give this a solid 4.7. The art, it took me a little bit to get used to, but after I got used to it, I loved it. So yeah, solid 4.7.
All right, I'm pretty much in the same boat. I'm gonna give it a solid 4.75 because, as you know, I rarely give the 5 rating because I know why Rich does. I know why Rich. This is his story. This is his guy.
This is my jam. Right here. This is a jam.
I always leave that little margin for error because in my mind there's still no perfect comic, except when I have decided. But hands down, I would recommend this book to anybody. You don't have to be a Joker fan. You don't have to be a Batman fan. You can just read it and the story tells itself. Everything is well explained. And that's what I love. Those where they don't have to waste time explaining. You already know. And if you don't, you can look this stuff up. It's not super complicated to the point where it's both. It's the combination of a thoughtful superhero film and a summer blockbuster. That's the best way I can put it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, next up is another poll from Rich. And you're going to have to give me some information so I can hunt it down. Forever Evil.
Yes. Awesome. I can give you a short synopsis for this right now. Well done, Rich. Nicely done.
Yes. Well, how can you not love all the bad guys? They're the funnest part of the character as far as I'm.
Absolutely. So essentially, Leo, this is New 52 crime syndicate invades the New 52 world. That's basically it.
Okay, so it's a DC poll?
Yeah, it's a DC poll.
Okay, that gives me a chance to start looking where to find it. So.
Yeah, 6-7 issues, right, Rich? About 6-7 issues, right?
Around that. I 6 or 8, somewhere in there.
And Leo, it's Jeff Johns and David Finch. That's the creative team for it. It's a solid event. I will say that, but I do say I got a little bit more joy out of the issues of Justice League, which go into the New 52 origins of each member of the crime syndicate. Those are pretty great, especially when you talk about Ultraman, Owlman, Superwoman. Then you get into Power Ring, Johnny Quick, Atomica. It's all great.
Awesome.
but nicely done, Rich. Well done.
Yes. The return of Catman.
What is it with everyone's love? Catman, Jesus. Like, such a D-list character, but everybody loves him.
Yeah, but in that storyline, he was not.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I get it. But listen, that one, because of that, we had Captain Cold on the Justice League. Okay, so boom. Like, what the hell? So tune in, kids, for a nice little gem for the New 52 era that nobody talks about.
Yeah. And I was just looking ahead, and I was about to say, we got the next 3 are Spider-Man, but actually, no, it's Venom, the Batman storyline, is after Forever Evil.
Which one?
Venom.
Okay, what? Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's Legend of the Dark Knight. Batman becomes addicted to drugs.
Right, the Venom storyline. Okay, cool. Because you said Venom, I was like, I don't remember Batman fighting Venom.
There is a Batman versus Predator. Shit, I should have put that on the list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
fun stuff.
Absolutely, that first arc is amazing. Like the other ones are good, but the first arc by Dave Gibbons, and I think that's Andy and Adam Kubert.
That was the Dark Horse Comics one, right?
Dark Horse,
yeah. That one's legit. I finally read that during the plague year, so all 3 of them great.
Very cool. Well, we'll round us out. Drew, where do you like people interacting with you on the socials?
Oh, okay. So this is that part. Hi, everybody. My name is Drew. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, GhostbusterMan1984. I write for Screen Rant. So I'm posting articles constantly. Check them out. You can look me up, Drew Mel Screen Rant. A lot of the times I'm here. I do the Spectacular Spider-Man podcast with Leo and Chris. I do splash pages here, and I occasionally have been known to make an appearance on our Wednesday show when we don't run for 3 hours long. Oh God,
they have been running long lately. Yeah.
Oh dear God, and yeah, I work on a bunch of projects. I don't know what the meaning of sleep is anymore, and keep smiling.
Awesome. Velvet Joker.
Well, you can find me, Rich Davis, on Facebook. I'd like to be called. And on Instagram, I'm Velvet Joker 2021. Find me every Tuesday here on Splashes. And I can co-host some of the other Dorkening Network type shows when the mood suits me. And other than that, I hope everyone had a great night and really enjoyed going over Batman, White Knight, Jack Napier, Jack Nicholson, Harley Quinn. Just good stuff. You won't go wrong.
Send in the clowns. Got it.
Yeah. And if you're interested in checking it out yourself, I do have a link in the show notes where you can check it out on Amazon. And that link does support the network. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. But more importantly, follow these awesome people. Drew and Rich, nicest people you ever meet. Absolutely love these guys. And I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. I am revamping the website. We have an all-new website, thedorkeningpodcastnetwork.com. Eventually, I will take the Dorkening and either redo that to a new site or redirect it to the new site. We do a bunch of different shows. I do an interview show on Mondays called Creator Spotlight. Tuesday, you can find me here with Splash Pages, and also the Spider-Man show with Drew and Chris. My mind went totally blank. I'm lacking sleep. Wednesdays, I do Still Token with, and also the Dorkening. And we're also going to be doing another show on Tuesdays. We have somebody joining the network, a comedian, very famous for the New England area, Boston comedian. And he's going to be doing a new show here on the network that he asked me to help with. And that's about it. We have a lot of awesome stuff. Check out White Knight. And on that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Peace out.